Hello and welcome to our talkie bit of the second week of Silent Hill 2. I am Peter.
I'm Michaela.
And Scott.
Who is our player. So, going back to the footage at the beginning, of course, the apartments, we had to briefly pop back into the Woodside apartments.
Forgot the garbage.
Forgot the garbage. And
Collect the garbage.
what else was there? Was the courtyard, wasn't there?
Courtyard, which I forgot about.
And wasn't it weird?
I sort of fell into the swimming pool and then looked and was like, where do these guys come from? There's three of them. Run to the pram, get out.
Because obviously you could sit there and kill them all, but there's very little point.
Waste the bullets, although the game seems to enjoy throwing bullets at me in a minute.
It does.
Well, certainly with one of the next scenes, which was the... well, before we get to that, let's talk about Eddie. Our first meeting with Eddie. I believe he introduced himself as Eddie...
Eddie the Boomer.
Eddie the Boomer.
Left 4 Dead.
So you thought he sounded like the Boomer from Left 4 Dead?
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it, we happened to think that Eddie sounds far more convincing throwing up than people generally do in films and television and what have
He seemed
you.
to go on for quite a while. Like, how much did he have in him?
He was very sick.
Eats a lot of pizza, I guess.
Admittedly as well, with you saying that, generally I don't think people probably go talk, throw that much. I think you'd probably wait until you were done.
There was a lot of sustained vomiting.
Probably a bit melodramatic, to be honest. Probably a corpse in the fridge.
Well, it might have been there for a while. It wasn't there for a while, was it? It looked pretty... Yeah, anyway, moving on. So there was that conversation with Eddie, and then we had the hand in the toilet moment, as I've got around here on my notes.
It is completely optional as well, so you can go
All you got was a bunch of bullets from it, wasn't it?
Quite a lot of bullets, though.
4 containers.
Definitely worth putting your hand in a toilet for.
Well, especially because you don't have to, because it's the character who has to. So what did you think about the new apartment building? How different do you think it was?
It seemed a little grimier than the first one, if that's possible. And it was blue.
Like it had been abandoned for longer.
Yeah, there was water in it, which confused me a little because they looked like holes in the floor.
It does, because it reflects the ceiling, doesn't it? Yeah.
It certainly seemed darker to me, I mentioned that.
And the mannequin seemed to respawn.
Yeah, give you sort of more enemies. Oh, yes, the next part is the bit with the coins and the puzzle. But before we get to that, you might have been a little bit confused as to why when you clicked on the door it didn't show the note on the door. Because you can read the note on the door.
What does it
and
say?
It tells you where you go to get to that bureau for the coin puzzle.
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
if I remember, it's someone going, I'm going out, but Blur has the spare key, go to here.
So we missed it, but it was only a bit of flavour text. We figured it all out anyway, eventually.
Yeah.
The coin puzzle took a while.
Did. It's mostly just working out where things went. There's not really much to say about that apart from working out where the coins went. And interpreting the different
I think part of the
meanings.
problem is that it says things like behind the lady, and you were sort of going, does that mean to the left? In that, left is backwards and right is forwards.
Yeah.
Or is it relative to which way the character or the coin is facing? So there was a little bit confusion as to that. And I think there is 2 ways of fulfilling the conditions of the puzzle.
But one way of fulfilling the conditions leaves one of the empty spaces literally meaning nothing, because it isn't referenced at all that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be reversed for it to completely make sense.
Oh, I see. So you think it sort of can really only be truly interpreted one way?
Yeah, because otherwise only 4 of the spaces are ever used, as the void and the wind would be the same place otherwise.
Yes, I see what you mean. So we met up with Angela again.
Possibly the craziest person in this town.
As crazy as you? Crazier? Less crazy?
I think she's more outwardly crazy.
Definitely more crazy. That's it.
Because, she's holding a knife and going, and then going perky voice, and then going, because she has 2 different sort of voices, almost.
Take this from me. No!
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm not
She's
crazy.
very victim-y, but yeah.
I don't
And
think
she does
so.
kind of go, yeah, could you take this from me? Yeah, that's fine. If you'll just reach towards me so I can overreact. Clearly something very wrong with her. We were talking of how we liked the big mirror in the
I
room,
was
how it makes it
wondering
a
all through
unique...
that scene whether that was reflections or they've just put another model on the other side.
Good question, actually, because what I found was that when I was mucking around with Silent Hill 4, in fact, which has similar things, and they're just models behind semi-translucent or completely transparent walls a lot of the time.
It has reflections and everything, like there's glass panes over pictures, and you can see that, but you can just go through and it's literally a low-res version of the room on the other side. It's a bit cheating.
I wonder if that was cheating in the same way.
I think it probably was. I haven't actually used a camera hack to check. I haven't done that in a long time, so I'm probably not going to bother. But I suspect it's just full models behind the walls. There was the encounter after we got through the door onto the stairwell with the old Pyramid Head.
Ah, the good friend. Took a lot to put him down. He didn't really go down either.
Well,
No,
he sort of went down.
Leaves again.
He sort of went down when you were going into the room. He was doing something.
Yes, he was doing more naughty things.
Yeah, I guess you could interpret it that way, yeah.
Did you notice the... I want to say vertical... You say it, you're...
What?
Okay, I'm clearly the only one who spotted that, and now I feel weird.
Was there a vagina?
It might have been, yes.
Right. There was sexual violence. There was penetration.
There was penetration?
There might as well have been. There might as well have been. There you go. I'll use the big words for you.
Thank you. So, if we're cromulent to killing Pyramid Head, he did take an awful lot of bullets, actually, more than I remembered.
But avoiding him wasn't too hard.
It's because he's very slow.
Yeah, he nearly got you, like, once or twice, but I think it was mostly you waiting for him to move, and he was just taking so long.
That's the experience from Dark Souls kicking in. Dodging things at the last second.
Yeah, you're not finding anything challenging in Silent Hill 2?
Not particularly, not yet at least.
Silent Hill 1 harder, do you think? I remember you munching through the medikits with quite a few bosses for Silent Hill 1.
Oh, that was just silly.
And not being very manoeuvrable as well, I think, is part of the problem.
So we haven't actually killed Pyramid Head yet. Looking forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, definitely he's an interesting monster to fight. Is he singular, or the many of him?
You just want to keep going, you'll find out.
He does seem to be waterproof, though. You notice he was walking through the corridor.
Yeah, he just goes for it.
Seemingly without resistance as well.
Yeah, most people miss it. It's something that's very easy to miss. Because most people are busy cowering in a corner, giggling to themselves and bleeding because they're kind of worried that he's going to come back. And he does, actually, if you follow him a bit too closely. But we were talking about how it's easier to do in widescreen. Because if you're careful and you edge towards him, you can actually watch him walk. Literally all the way downstairs.
I think I spotted it when
and then round.
Walking through the water to the door.
Yeah, you spotted him walking underwater towards the door.
I think you may miss something in a way without playing it in widescreen, because I think originally the feeling was that you were boxed in a little square and you can't see him off screen, because you could only sort of half see him off screen because we have the widescreen put on.
So, was that the first time you hear the siren?
I'm not sure, I think it might be. I mean, do you remember hearing the siren before? Because obviously you've got the game louder than we have.
I don't think so. I don't remember hearing it.
We've probably mentioned a little bit about the setup we've got here. While we're playing, by the way, we can hear the game, but it's quite quiet, so we're not picking it up on our microphones. And Scott here can't actually hear us. He's got some noise-cancelling headphones on to sort of separate them out from us. So yes, you can hear the game louder than we can.
Also, we haven't met the other world yet, have we?
You don't. This is it.
Yeah.
There's sort of an other world in that you will re-examine some of the levels. Like, for example, I think you re-examine the hospital. I don't know, I might be confusing that with 3. Don't quote me on that. But no, there's never a sharp transition and a massive visual change. They sort of did away with it. Silent Hill 2 is very experimental compared to the... well, it's very experimental.
It certainly mentions the other world. It did in the hospital in the doctor's notes. Yeah.
I thought, does 3 return to the other world?
Very much so, yeah.
Okay.
It's far stronger. It's much more like it was in the first game, but with the graphical improvements. In fact, more so than Silent Hill 2. It's very impressive graphically. Sometimes Silent Hill 2 can look a little off. Shoulders aren't very well done, for example.
And some of the textures are very...
PS2-like?
Yeah. I think egregious is the best word there. Outstanding.
Well done. Win points at Scrabble. Silent Hill 3 PC as well, talking about the PC port specifically. has much higher resolution textures in it as well. So it looks much better when we'll move on to that one. But returning back to Silent Hill 2, we met Maria. What did you think of the meeting Maria scene in the Rosewater Park?
She comes across as slightly less crazy than everyone else in the town, but that's not much.
No, I mean, less crazy, that's still pretty crazy. Or it can be.
It's like comparing nuclear explosions. It doesn't really matter how small you get. It's still a nuclear explosion. That's the level of crazy.
Actually, I wanted to say it kind of reminds me of Lisa from Silent Hill 1, because she's very needy.
And Dread.
And blonde.
And similar sort of character, I think.
She's actually based off Christina Aguilera.
Really?
Yeah. There's a picture you can find on the internet. We'll probably put it up while I'm talking about this in the talkie. Which is sort of a comparison with Christina Aguilera with a particular outfit. I think it was at the MTV Awards or something like that. And if you just look at Maria and then you look at her, that's the same outfit. Very, very little differences.
Let's hope that someone gets in mind to do a Lady Gaga version of that, where it's just meat.
Don't tempt me to hack it. Has she annoyed you as a sort of an escort?
She hasn't really annoyed me yet. The teleporting thing she does is unnerving, though.
Isn't it? Yes.
It's also the fact that in the doctor's room where you went in the first time and she was by the desk, then you went in the second time and she was by the cupboard. So it's like you can't even know where she'll be.
Other character-wise, we met up again with Laura very briefly. Bitch. She's so nice. She knows something, though.
Well, she knows about Mary.
She's met Mary, and she's looking for Mary as well. So who the hell is she?
And of course, we caught up with Eddie as well. So I mean, there's lots of cutscenes going on with the extra characters. So what did you think of those? There was the scene leading into the bowling alley. Well, sorry, the scene where she finds the keys to let you into Heaven's Night.
Oh, after the bowling alley.
Yeah, I think that one's more six in your bank more.
James seemed to be trying to perv on her when she was doing it as well.
His wife's been dead for 3 years. He might be lonely.
Yeah. But don't worry, as we all know, when we're trying to perv on women, they never realise, so it's fine. Do you think that Eddie should have been eating pizza with all of those monsters around?
How many opportunities do you get to feed yourself?
See, that's
I wonder where he's
well.
getting the pizza from.
The delivery service.
What delivery service?
I don't know.
Why was there a pizza in the bowling alley?
It almost feels like he went there and he found it, and then he started eating it.
Found pizza, best kind. Yes, but we saw some interaction between him and Laura, which I thought was quite interesting as well. Little conversation they had.
They seem to get on rather well, considering.
Yes, because she's kind of mean to him, but obviously she's just a kid.
In that thoughtless, over-talkative way children can sometimes be. And then she legs it, and you have to follow her, of course.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Looking forward to more?
Most likely.
Yes, we'll see you next time for more. So this is Peter.
Michaela.
And...
Scott.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
More Silent Hill. Goodbye.